So what if I told you that the biggest reason your product might fail has absolutely nothing to do with its features and everything to do with the first 90 seconds a new user spends with it? Today, we're not just talking about product design, we're breaking down the neurology of first impressions. This is your product survival guide. Let's start with a truth that might be a little tough to hear. The greatest strategic failure in product design is the delayed payoff. Believing that your customers will wait through your onboarding for the value you promised. But here's the neurological fact that you're ignoring. Motivation has a half-life measured in seconds. This one single flawed assumption, well, it's where countless great ideas, and maybe even yours, go to die.
And that brings us right to our first big idea, the motivation paradox. See, it's a direct challenge to a belief that most of us hold, probably you too, about what it really takes to win. It's that idea that the best product, the one with the most power and potential, should just naturally come out on top. I mean, we all want to believe this, right? That if you just build a better mousetrap, victory is basically guaranteed. But the history of tech is just a graveyard of superior products that failed. Remember Betamax? It was better than VHS. The Zune was, in a lot of ways, a better MP3 player than the iPod. And yet, they lost. So what if that core belief is just wrong? Well, here's the paradox in a nutshell. It's not about being the best. It's about being the fastest. The fastest to deliver a real result, the fastest to make the user feel like, hey, I can do this. In those first critical moments, speed to value isn't just some nice-to-have feature, it is the only feature that actually matters. Because you're in a race against this powerful, invisible force. And that force, we call it perishable motivation. When a user first signs up for your product, their motivation is at its absolute peak. They are excited, they have a problem they think you can solve. But that motivation, it's like a phone battery. From the second they sign up, it starts to drain, and it drains fast. This isn't just a feeling, you guys, it's a neurological state, and it has a very, very short half-life. How short? You've got about 90 seconds. That's it, a minute and a half. That's all the time the human brain gives you to decide if your tool is worth the effort. 90 seconds to prove your worth before that peak motivation just decays into doubt, then frustration, and finally, they're gone. That's your entire window. Which leads us straight to the place where most products lose this fight, the onboarding chasm. It's this gaping void between what the user hopes for and what your product actually delivers. It's basically the place where all that good-willed enthusiasm goes to die. And this slide just lays out the disconnect perfectly. On one side, you've got the user's expectation. They signed up for an immediate win. They want to solve their problem right now. But on the other side, you have what most products give them, a giant wall of friction. Verify your email, create a password, set up your profile, watch this tutorial you have to watch. Every single step, no matter how logical it seems to you, is another second just burning away your user's finite motivation. And this space right here, this is the value gap. It's the treacherous heart of that onboarding chasm. It's where your most excited, high-intent potential customers, the ones who were so ready they actually took the time to sign up, just give up and leave. They don't just churn, they fall into a chasm that you accidentally built for them. So why does this happen so predictably? Well, it's a really powerful cognitive bias called hyperbolic discounting. Our brains are hardwired to want immediate payoffs over future ones. It's the reason we eat a cookie right now instead of waiting for the long-term benefit of a healthier diet. And in your product, that small, immediate reward of just closing the tab and ending the frustration, it becomes way more appealing than the big, far-off promise of your product's value. Every click, every form field just makes that future reward seem even further away. This chart shows the timeline of that decay in brutal detail. At 0 seconds, the moment of sign-up, motivation is at 100%. But after just 45 seconds of friction, it's already been cut in half. And by 90 seconds, you've hit the churn point. The user's brain has done the math, decided the effort isn't worth it, and poof, they're gone. This is the onboarding chasm in action. Okay, so if the onboarding chasm is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's not about small tweaks or making the interface prettier. It's about a fundamental architectural shift in how you design that first experience. It's a system that we call the instant gratification loop. The antidote is to basically use the brain's own wiring against itself. You fight the brain's desire for an immediate reward by giving it one. This means designing a system that is ruthlessly, obsessively optimized to deliver a tangible, meaningful win to the user as fast as humanly possible. So how do we actually build this thing? The blueprint is this really elegant 3-stage collapse of the old onboarding model. We call it the time to value blueprint. First, you isolate the smallest possible win. Second, you defer all the friction that isn't absolutely essential. And third, you use that quick win to psychologically anchor the user to your product. Let's break that down. So the entire system is built around this idea of the micro win. This is the absolute core of the strategy. You have to ask yourself, what is the single smallest action a user can take in my product that gives them a real, tangible piece of value? Not the promise of value, but the actual delivery of it, right here, right now. That becomes your North Star. Think about a spreadsheet app. The delayed payoff, the big promise is organize your entire team's budget. That's overwhelming, but the micro win is simply calculate one sum. It's instant, it's useful, and it proves the tool works. Or for a photo editor, the goal isn't this monumental task of create a professional portfolio. No, the micro win is to apply one cool filter and see your photo instantly look awesome. It's a little moment of magic. Now, to get the user to that micro win as fast as possible, you have to defer all the friction. And I mean, you have to be absolutely ruthless about this. Does the user really need to upload a profile picture right now? Do you need their billing info before they've even seen any value? Do they need to set up complex permissions or link their social accounts? The answer is almost always no. You move all of those hurdles to after they've had their first taste of success. And now, here comes the psychological payoff. When you successfully deliver that micro win, ideally in under 60 seconds, something incredible happens in the brain. It triggers a really powerful cognitive bias known as confirmation bias, which is basically our tendency to favor information that confirms a decision we've already made. The user doesn't just think, oh, that was neat. Their brain thinks, wow, I made a great choice signing up for this. I'm smart for finding this tool. And that feeling of success, of being right, it releases dopamine and creates this powerful emotional bond. We call this a dopamine anchor. They now have a positive, tangible memory linked to your product, which makes them far more likely to stick around. This slide really shows the fundamental shift in mindset that happens. Before the micro win, the user is a skeptic. They are testing your product, and they're actively looking for reasons to quit. But after that win, the whole mental model flips. They're now using the tool. They've already gotten value from it, so now they're way more willing to invest the time to set up their profile or learn complex features, or even forgive a few minor flaws. So why is this system so devastatingly effective? It's because it's not just some clever design pattern. It's a system that's built to leverage the predictable, hardwired shortcuts our brains use to make decisions every single day. Okay, the first principle at play here is the goal gradient effect. Studies show that people and even animals, they speed up their efforts as they get closer to a reward. Just think about a coffee shop loyalty card. You're way more motivated to buy that next coffee when you only have 1 or 2 stamps left to go, right? The finish line is in sight and your brain just wants to cross it. So if you want to trigger this automatic acceleration, the solution is beautifully simple. You put the goal, that micro win, mere seconds away from the starting line. By making the finish line immediately visible and totally attainable, you tap into this powerful instinctual drive to just get it done. And the result isn't just passive interest. It's a burst of focused engagement. You're not asking the user to commit to a marathon of effort based on a promise. You're showing them a quick sprint with a guaranteed prize at the end. Their brain can't help but want to run that race. This second principle is something called cognitive ease. Look, our brains are lazy. They're built to conserve energy, and they prefer the path of least resistance. It's why we're more likely to read a short article than a long one. When something is easy to start, we subconsciously label it as good, safe, and trustworthy. A complex, difficult onboarding process feels risky, and it signals incompetence. So by engineering this incredibly simple path to the first win, you literally bypass the brain's natural complexity alert. You signal to the user on a subconscious level that your product is competent, trustworthy, and on their side. And this builds the psychological foundation you need for them to stick around for the long haul. Okay, so we've covered the theory and the psychology. Now, let's translate all of this into a clear, actionable playbook. How do you actually implement this in your own product, starting, well, today? You start with what we call the TTV audit, your time to value audit. Step 1, identify that micro win. Get your team in a room and don't leave until you agree on the single smallest action that delivers real value. Step 2, the kill the welcome audit. Be brutal. Remove every single screen, button, and text field that stands between a new user and that win.
And finally, step 3, measure your TTV to churn ratio. You have to track how reducing the time to that first win is actually impacting your long-term user retention.
This is the question you need to be obsessed with. Not how many features do we have or what's our sign-up rate, but how many seconds does it take for a brand new user to feel successful? If you don't know the answer to this question, you're flying blind.
This is what mastery of time to value really looks like. It's when your onboarding is so fast, so seamless, so value-driven that the user experiences that aha moment, that feeling of magic, before the thought of searching for an alternative even has a chance to form in their mind. You've won the battle for retention in the very first minute. All right, let's bring this all together. We've torn down the old model of asking for trust upfront, and we've built a new one based on earning that trust through speed, psychology, and a profound respect for the user's perishable motivation. This is the core philosophy of the velocity of value.
If you take only one thing away from this entire explainer, please let it be this: speed is the ultimate feature. It's more important than your settings panel, more critical than your integrations, and more valuable than your fancy AI assistant. Because without speed to value, most of your users will never even see any of those other things. This simple sentence reframes the entire product-user relationship. A user's attention is not something you are entitled to, it's a loan. And when someone gives you a loan of their most precious asset, their time, you have to pay it back with interest. Delivering immediate value is how you service that debt and earn the right to borrow more. The strategic transformation that happens when you master this is just profound. Your product stops being just one of many potential solutions that a user is trying out. By proving its worth instantly, it begins the journey to becoming an integrated part of their workflow, a necessary habit. And this is why it's not just a product strategy, it's a marketing strategy. The best marketing isn't about clever ads or complicated funnels that push people toward a purchase. It's about a product that pulls people toward value by giving them a taste of it right away. The proof is in the product, delivered in seconds. So I'll leave you with this challenge. Look at your own product, your own project, your own idea. Be honest. How will you strip away the friction, find that micro win, and prove that your product works instantly? Because in the modern world, you may not get a second chance.